Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. It's one of those things that, we kind of forget sometimes to celebrate moms and all of the people that love us like moms, too. So happy Mother's Day to all of you out there. Today's Sunday story is really focused on a couple of things that I've noticed recently, and there's a couple of components that make up those things. And the first thing that I want us to remember is that it is very powerful when one person does something. And, if you think about when we drop a rock in a stream or in a lake, that it actually is one of those things that sends out vibrations throughout that particular space. We call that the ripple effect. It is one of my favorite things, my favorite concepts that we kind of forget about when we're moving through life, because wherever we are placed in life, we create ripple effects. Sometimes we don't even see them, sometimes we don't feel them, but let me tell you, they're always there. So part of today's message is really about not just, hi Jessica, great to see you, is really focused about, where are you in that spectrum? I love my wind chimes. And are you the one? Are you the rock that gets dropped? Or are you on the receiving end of, thank you, Jessica. Are you on the receiving end of the after effects of that particular pebble or rock that gets dropped into that particular lake or stream or whatever? So too many times we're on the periphery, right? We're the ones that are receiving. But I want to encourage us all to be the one, to be that one person, that rock or that pebble that gets dropped into a particular space or moment, and you be the creator of that ripple effect. So I'm going to tell you a little story about what has happened to me over the last couple of weeks when I chose intentionally to be that rock or that pebble. So there was this space where we were talking about, a group of women were talking about vulnerability, and we were also talking about weakness. And the question came up, are weakness and vulnerability the same thing? And how do they impact us? Now, it would have been very easy for me to just remain quiet. It would have been very easy for me to let other people kind of, give back and forth. But I decided that I wanted to go ahead and be in that space. So I threw out something that, one, basically recognized the differences between weakness and vulnerability. And let me tell you that it takes a very strong, confident person to, one, admit their weaknesses, and two, to show their vulnerability. They are not the same thing. Vulnerability means that we're in this state of being exposed and raw, and people might see us actually as we are. The state of weakness is not being strong, and I'm going to tell you it takes incredible strength to be vulnerable. And I started to kind of highlight in some of the things that I feel about weaknesses and strengths and vulnerability. But let me tell you right here, it takes an incredible amount of strength to be vulnerable, to be seen exactly as we are. And earlier today, a friend had reached out to me, and we were kind of happy Mother's Daying each other, and she got very emotional on the phone. And I was glad that she shared that with me, that she not only shared her vulnerableness with me, but that I was there to hear her tears. And let me remind you again that that is what we seek most. We can look at Instagram, and we can look at Twitter, and we can look at all of those social media sites that show us things that have filters and things that have been staged, and things aren't real. Well, here's one of the reasons why I do my Sunday stories, is because you see me. You see me as I am. I am standing on the side of my yard. Here's some of my flowers. And you get to see me. And it is a space where I feel very, very comfortable being me. But it takes incredible confidence in sharing who you are. And it means that if we're really going to treat each other as we want to be treated, then we have to do so without judgment. And we have to allow others to tell their stories. Sometimes we have moments where we are just hurt, we're devastated, we are rejected, we're disappointed, and we're frustrated. And sometimes those moments last for a lot longer. Sometimes those moments hit us when we least expect it. Now, those of you that are celebrating Mother's Day, you know what? Sometimes today is just another Mother's Day. But for some, it may be the first Mother's Day without their mom. It may be the second Mother's Day without their mom. Or maybe they've lost a child, someone's lost a child. And it's hard for them to celebrate Mother's Day, knowing that they have that void. So I want to encourage us all to remember to be, you know what? We all have weak days and we have weak moments. And that doesn't mean that we're not strong. It just means that we're being real. Sometimes, things are hard. Things are scary. And vulnerability is us showing those things that are hard and scary to other people and allowing them to be a part of that moment, sharing that so we don't have to carry it alone. It's not always easy. Believe me, it's not easy to show people that you're hurting or that you get emotional or somebody says something and it just hits you right in the heart, right? And sometimes it comes out of nowhere. So what are you going to be? Are you going to be vulnerable? Are you going to be weak? Or are you going to be that ripple in the stream? And guess what? We're all three. We are all three. Because when we are focused on our weaknesses, right, we can't be strong. But it takes strength to admit that we have them. Say, you know what, I'm not good at that. Or that's a struggle for me. It doesn't mean we're not worthy. And it doesn't mean that we're any less of who we are. The best story to own is your own. And what does it mean to be vulnerable? It means, hey, you know what, I had a bad day, or this was really hard for me. And I didn't think it was going to be hard. Or, you know what, I did that. But when you become a ripple effect, and you are the one that starts it, and that's what I did earlier this week, is I was very vulnerable, and it started a conversation. It started these group of women connecting to one another, and it allowed them to not feel so alone. It allowed them to say, hey, you know what, I thought it was just me. I thought it was just me that was feeling hurt or distanced from people or just disappointed and frustrated and all of those things that we all feel as human beings. The ripple effect is the connector of people. They are the ones that start the conversation. And sometimes that means you have to go first. And you have to throw things out there that are hard for you, that make you exposed, that maybe allow somebody to see a weakness. But what it does is it humanizes everybody. We all want to be perfect, but none of us are. So it allows us a moment to say, hey, you know what? This is who I am. And you can take it or you can leave it. And I just want to remind everybody again that we're all doing the best we can. But again, encourage you, please. Don't just wait on the periphery and wait for something to be given to you. Get out there and be the one that starts something. Be that rock or that pebble that gets dropped in the water. And that may require you to be vulnerable. But you know what? I'm going to tell you right now. The greatest moments that I have felt absolutely scared out of my life, that have been hard, is when I've been most vulnerable. When I've allowed people to see me for everything that I am. But what happens afterwards is that people gravitate towards that. They come to me instead of run away from it. Be courageous today. Celebrate life as it is here and now. Celebrate everything that's good in your life. And remember that it doesn't take an invitation for you to be that rock or that pebble. Go out and do it on your own. Look for the opportunities and the moments that show up in your life, whether you invited them or not, and say, you know what? I'm going to lean into a moment of courage, and I'm going to be that person. Because the ripple effect has to begin with one of us. It might as well be you. Have a great Sunday. Take care. Thanks for watching, Jessica. I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye bye.